Okay, Gustav.
What would be the view then if we're going into this integrational process in which we're inserting ourselves in a galactic atmosphere with several different neighbors and we're still unable to talk to each other without the fear factor and understanding that we're all the same, including those other beings and all those civilizations? How do you guys can view or somehow angle things like that within this research?
Your question really goes to the depth of the soul. And in my work, I found that too much scientific information is over people's heads. They're not going to be able to use that. But what is important is the vibration of the human heart. And as you connect this with higher vibrations, and you go to the planetary heart, you really open up a door to a higher physics of consciousness that our present language of science cannot explain or accept. But all life is vibrations, and if you can raise those vibrations musically, harmoniously, and with compassion, there you're on the process to the divine family that we're all connected with. Now, in my work, I found that I cannot do this in the traditional classical sense of science or even philosophy, and so I've been reaching out through musicians like Carlos Santana and Alice Coltrane and others who are great singers and composers to take this information into the soul and to create the super soul that sings and vibrates. And this bypasses years and years of studies where you have all this information, but it gets to 1/10 of 1% of the world population. The whole drama that we're experiencing is the complete change of the spectrum of life.
It's true.
And this is what we have to accept. Everything is going to change in the twinkling of an eye, and we're wrong to look for a given formula, a given discipline, a given leader, a group of leaders. And that's not going to happen that way, as I and others have experienced. It's the drama of finding the universe orchestrating through your heart and you singing back to the universe.
Thank you. Thank you.
No one wants to redefine the world. No one. You know, once you've gotten to a certain age, you've got the world figured out, you think, and you want to just spend the rest of your life filling in the blanks. And the problem is that when I first confronted this topic, I thought that I was already ahead of the curve. Hey, I'd read Noam Chomsky. I knew everything. And, that's what I thought. And then I start getting into this topic, and I thought, I didn't know a goddamn thing. And so I spent a year, like, in bed, looking at the ceiling, basically staying awake, trying to figure out my world. And it wasn't really a fear, it was just like, there's something wrong with my worldview. And it's hard, it's very hard to go through that and process that. And I do feel that is an overcoming of fear too. There's all different types of fear that every one of us has to deal with.
It's true. Okay, over there. Yeah, I mean, if this is true, if what we saw here is true, then everything we know about what we think the world is wrong or has to be altered.
We're going to deal with a larger galactic community of any sort. We are not even close to being ready when you look at our global politics. When you look at the way we treat each other, the way we kill each other, the way we're tearing up this Earth's environment, destroying it the way that we're doing. We are clearly unfit. We are clearly unfit for a larger kind of interaction. Plus, we're so violent. I mean, any group that's looking at us must think, these people are crazy. So there's beauty in inside of every human soul. I mean, that's true. But our infrastructure is set up in such a way that we are destroying each other and destroying this world. So what we have to do, I don't think there's any way around this, we have to find a way to become free among ourselves, but also unified in the sense of recognizing the humanity of each other and treating each other as human beings, not as things. And I don't know how we're going to do that. I think the shock of disclosure can start that process. All I can do is I think that's a chance, but we've got a long way. We have a long way to go.
We have a facility of consciousness that is not what scientists and psychologists have said it is vaster and more multifaceted than we have been allowed to explore.
Our reality is much more extended and wider and broader than we're living it every day. And so I think that's quite a gift just to see that reflected in each of these three panelists to show us what we can live into.